When it comes to health and fitness, we act like spoiled, rotten teenagers. Now, hear me out. Think about the current climate that we live in when it comes to our health and fitness, or health and wellness. We have an entitlement syndrome that says, I should be in shape right now. I don't think of, oh, this is going to take me 1, 2, 3, 5 years. I have the expectation that I need it and want it and that I deserve it right now. Now, I'm going to use a highly polarizing example. Okay, so take a deep breath, politically incorrect. Here it goes. Think about semaglutide, right? This is something that has swept through our country, and many of us, when I say many, I mean the vast majority of us, we don't really think about what the long-term consequences should be, right? We see a commercial, we see a friend that loses weight, and we say to ourselves, ooh, that should work for me. And we find that these people aren't really having to do anything. So we go to our doctor, we get the prescription. Because they're a doctor, they absolutely 100% know what they're talking about. And so therefore, I'm good, right? This is the current mentality that we in our culture are living in. And what I want to push back on ever so, with respect, is the notion that a quick fix and an entitlement mentality ultimately leads to frustration. It leads to loss of results at the end of the rainbow. You might get your results, but at the end of that, if you haven't changed fundamental habits and behaviors, it's going to bring you back to the start, okay? Now, I use the semaglutide as an example. There's so many other examples. Look at weight loss pills. Look at body wraps, surgeries. We have an entitlement that wants to get us to point A to point Z with not a lot of travel. Now, this, in my opinion, is the disease of modern humankind because it is based on a lie. Let me give you an example. If I said, all right, I want you to start to build your wealth. How would you do that? How would you go about building wealth? Well, you have to come up with a plan. If you're an entrepreneur, you're going to have to come up with a business plan. If you're going to climb the corporate ladder, it's going to take you a long time, and you're going to have to prove yourself. You're going to have to work hard along the way. When it comes to health and fitness, I don't know why this is, but we have this little asterisk, don't we? When it comes to health and fitness, I need it now. And because there's these vast marketing ploys out there that says, oh, it's safe and effective, right? It's this, it's that. We don't critically think about it. We just go there and we say, okay, it must be this way. Now, if we do that, and if we're not looking at long-term consequences, let's take the semaglutide. There is studies that exist right now that are showing some downstream effects that are not very happy for the liver, not very good and for your peristaltic rhythm, which is your intestines and how you churn food and how you digest and assimilate nutrients. These are things that they're finding downstream that are not good. Plus, we don't know, this is going to take 10, 15 years to see the long-term consequences. But because we have a vision where we want to look just right here and not do the work, we don't want to hear that. When somebody comes up and they say, hey, did you hear the study about semaglutide? That they're showing that it actually slows down like your intestinal rhythms. We're like, I don't want to hear that, because we have a bias already set in our mind that says, yeah, it's worked for me. I don't want to have to think about changing because we have so much going on in our lives. We don't want to think about one more thing that we have to do. But what if there's a better way here? And this is where the open mind and an open heart has to come. And again, there's no judgment here. I'm not saying there's not a time and a place for some of these under proper medical care. That's not what I'm saying. I'm trying to give you a proper context and look at maybe a better way of looking at this is if we look at the big picture. Let's look at root causes, okay? If I want to lose weight, if I want to eat better, if I want to change anything in my lifestyle, I have to be able, with an open, honest mind, assess where I'm at. And I have to say, okay, these are my behaviors. These are my habits. This is leading to a certain result. I have to change these things to get to a different result. Now, that's going to require work. And it's not just a 24-hour endeavor. It's day after day. It's week after week. It's month after month, until you get to the result. okay? But that's not all painful. I want you to think of it this way. If we can have that mindset, if we can accept the fact that it is going to take work, that over time, what is hard now, what feels hard now is not going to feel hard in the future. Because once I learn a new habit, it becomes habitual. Just like if I'm driving to work, it's not going to cause me all sorts of consternation. I just go to work, or I put my t-shirt on or off, right? In that same vein, if I continue to have a workhorse mentality, like I'm just going to get through the hard stuff, it will in time become easier, more seamless, and it'll just become second nature. And that is my invitation to you today. Look at where you're at. Be 100% honest with yourself. Where is the entitlement mindset? Where is it hindering you? And this takes deep introspection. And then with that knowledge, say, okay, what am I going to do? What is the first step that I can take to make change? Doesn't have to be huge, doesn't have to be the world, just one little thing that I can do. And with that, you're going to notice a snowball effect, okay? There is no shortcut. One last thing I'll leave you with is this. Start also with the element of self-forgiveness. We live in a very fast-paced world. We live with very high expectations. As a guy, you have so much pressure on your shoulder that society does not appreciate. And so forgive yourself. And once you can do that, then you can move to the next step and say, what do I need to work on? What can I accept as needing to be done? How can I put in the hard work? And then above and beyond that, what can I do to keep this snowball going? Once I've mastered one thing, what's going to be the next thing? And then the next thing, then the next thing, one domino at a time. All right, my friends, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Please subscribe if you haven't. Share this with a friend if you feel it would be helpful. If you feel like you could use help with your journey and reclaiming your energy, reclaiming that masculine side of you, and living a vital life, I would love to connect with you. I offer a free discovery call. You can click on it here. We can talk about where you're at, what barriers that you face, and we can set up a plan and really just kind of see if we would be a good fit to work with one another. So with that, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.